Move back a little bit. Saturday 25th of January 2020. Happy Chinese New Year to any of our friends in China or Chinatown, wherever. I'm sitting in the studio here in London at Viva Recorders. Tim's just popping out to get some biscuits. We're having a tea break, and we are in the final few hours of recording the new Hightown Pirates album, all of the above. Make sure you get good biscuits, right? None of that cheap shit, okay?
Oh, it's with bitches.
I'll try and be brief if I can, although I have a tendency to not be sometimes, particularly when talking about things that I feel passionately about. This album and the whole concept of Hightown Pirates as it currently stands is something that I feel very passionate about indeed. So I'm sitting in the studio, which is in a crypt below a church. Now, I'm not a religious person. In fact, I'm particularly when I'm in a bad mood, I'm leaning towards a more atheist outlook on life. However, this church is situated in a park, and at the other end of this park, 20 years ago, I was in a drug rehab facility. And when I came to view the studio for the first time last year, I hadn't been in that park since I left that rehab many years ago. And for anyone who's au fait with the ongoing saga of all things Mason and Hightown Pirates, I didn't get clean, or I didn't stay clean for very long. I did, however, get clean in 2006, and have remained so ever since. So it'll be 14 years this June. And I mention that because there is a very specific reason why I chose to make this Hightown Pirates record. As a band, in our previous lineup, we played our last live show nearly a year ago. And at that point, after a couple of years of kind of not really getting anywhere, for all sorts of reasons, none of which are actually that important, I was kind of done, to be honest. I felt like I'd given it a good go, and I won't speak for anybody else, but I think there was a feeling that, you know, this was just too difficult. You know, we're not young men, and the music industry generally will ignore anyone kind of over the age of 25, I think, these days. So I'm a little bit older than that. Anyway, again, not important. When you come into the recovery community in whatever fashion that may be, kind of incumbent with that, and something that's almost unavoidable, is that you make friends and associates. Some, in my experience, I've become very close to. Others, I just have respect for them for trying to turn their lives around. We don't have to be best friends or have each other on speed dial, you know, but you get to know people and you share this journey. And this time last year, I'd lost 3 good friends of mine within the space of about 18 months. And when I say good friends, all 3 of them, Carrie and Luke and Earl, had been at my daughter Tabitha's humanist, shall we say, it's not a christening because we're not Christians, but a celebration of her birth 11 years ago, nearly 12 years ago. So these weren't just people that I knew, these were people that I cared about a lot, and at the time they were all clean. They didn't make it, and it hurts, that loss, and it hurts obviously their families, their parents, their brothers, their sisters, and it hurts us collectively, I think, sometimes too. Carrie was a fanatical music fan, lover of all kind of genres. I remember seeing her dancing at a sober event many years ago, and I think actually it was one of the few times I'd seen her really, really happy. She was just lost in the music, you know, dancing, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And Luke and Earl were both extremely talented musicians, guitar players, both of them. And when Earl died, he was the last of the three of them to sort of check out. It really shocked me. No, it didn't shock me, it shook me. It hurt. And it made me think about what I was trying to say with the whole Hightown Pirates thing. And maybe I'd lost sight of it a little bit, I don't know, but it focused my attention a little bit on this idea that, in my experience, a lot of creative people, and I had it myself, have this kind of notion that our creativity comes from staying up for days at a time, whatever, using substances. Now, I'm not trying to argue that there isn't a creative value in that, but with this record, and when I decided to make this record and find the money to make it, I decided that I was only going to work as far as possible with people that were either in recovery or at the very least familiar through personal experience of their own families and friends with that. And both the people who run this studio have been clean / sober for many, many years, and all the musicians, core musicians that we rehearsed the songs with in a couple of days, that's all we had, are also in recovery, and it's not for me to say who they are at the moment or whatever. Anyway, you see the point, and that's what all of the above is supposed to be about: a celebration of sobriety, being clean, being in recovery. Whether it's a day, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, or nearly 14 years, or 20 years, whatever it is, it's a day at a time. And I hope this record, I don't want to sound too self-important here, I'd like it if someone out there who's struggling still with their own addictions understands and takes a little bit of inspiration from hearing this music, because it's been my experience, which isn't open for debate, that some of us will actually do our best work, our finest work, our most meaningful and purposeful work, whether it's musically, visually, writing, whatever, you know, when we come into recovery and stick around a bit. And that's what this album is a celebration of. So, to all of you who have pledged money to help us get this album mixed and mastered, I am truly, truly grateful. You know, none of you have heard a single note of this record, and yet you've taken the time to put in some of your hard-earned money to help us finish it. So that's the next phase. Recording is now finished, and I'm going to go away for a couple of weeks with some rough mixes, and then we'll come back again in a couple of weeks' time, and we're going to get it mixed and mastered, and hopefully out into the world in April, by which time my beloved Liverpool Football Club will hopefully be league champions. So for me, this year is starting to look really good. I guess that's all I really want to say, you know, to everyone who's committed to this project financially, to the people that are cheering us on from the sidelines because of whatever reason they just can't make a donation, for those who have given a little, for those who have given a little bit more than a little, thank you all so much. We're going to self-release it. We're going to start a label called Port Royal Records. Port Royal, Google it, it's an interesting story, and it's congruent with the whole pirate ethos. And I hope that with a little bit of money that we can cobble together after we've mastered the record, I can find a decent PR team, someone who understands what this is all about and will give it their best shot in what is a very, very competitive market, as they say, that maybe this record will be heard. I'd like that. It would make me happy. Anyway, signing off from Viva Recorders in Holloway. It's Saturday night, and we've got a couple more hours to go. I'll upload this to our Hightown Pirates YouTube page, and I'll put a link up and the update, and hopefully you'll all get a chance to say hello. So if you haven't already, Join us on Facebook and Instagram, Hightown Pirates, and the Hightown Pirates YouTube channel. And thank you all again. See you soon. Bye.